The search for a truly great night's sleep, it feels universal, doesn't it? We're supposed to spend a third of our lives doing it, but for so many of us, it's just this constant struggle. So today, we're going to do a deep dive into the source material behind a product called SomaLeaf and really try to understand their unique approach to this whole problem. The material we're looking at kicks things off with a pretty bold question. It's framing this whole thing not just as a hunt for more sleep, but for a natural way to get better quality sleep. So let's jump in and take a look at the case they're making. Okay, does any of this sound familiar? The source lists out all these super common frustrations. The trouble falling asleep, or not getting that really restful sleep, difficulty staying asleep. And then you've got that lack of focus during the day, waking up with no energy, zero motivation. It's this vicious cycle that can just leave you feeling totally wiped out. So what is going on here? What's the real root of the problem? Well, the material suggests that there's actually a hidden reason why a full night in bed doesn't always mean you'll wake up refreshed. Turns out it's about a lot more than just how many hours your eyes are closed. And here it is. This is the big distinction the source makes. It's all about sleep quality, not just quantity. You can absolutely be in bed for 8, 9 hours, but if your body isn't actually getting into those deep, restorative sleep stages, you're pretty much missing out on all the real benefits. So to really get a handle on the solution being presented, we first need to look at this key system in our bodies that, according to the source, basically acts like a master sleep switch, and it's called the endocannabinoid system, or the ECS for short. To put it simply, the ECS is this huge network of chemical signals and receptors that runs all through your body. The best way to think of it is like your body's internal balancing act. It's constantly working behind the scenes to keep things like your mood, your appetite, and, most important for us right now, your sleep patterns right on track. Now, the source material breaks down the ECS's job for sleep into two major parts. First, it helps manage your circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock. And second, it controls how much time you're spending in all the different sleep stages, really pushing for more of that deep, physically restorative sleep. So if the ECS is our master regulator, what happens when it's not working the way it should? This is where the source introduces a concept called endocannabinoid deficiency. It basically reframes our sleep issues as a potential imbalance in this whole system. And this is really the key question they pose. What if your body just isn't making enough of these critical molecules? It could throw that entire balancing act completely off kilter, and sleep is often one of the first things to get hit. And get this, the potential symptoms go way beyond just sleep. Because the ECS is tied into so many different functions, the source suggests an imbalance could show up as problems with digestion, mood swings, even high stress levels. It really paints a picture of a system-wide issue. Okay, so we've laid out the problem, according to the source, a system that's potentially out of balance. Now let's get to the proposed solution, CBD. We're going to look at how it's claimed to help get your body's natural rhythm back on track. So the central claim here is that CBD doesn't work like a typical sedative that just knocks you out. No, instead it's said to support your body's own system. The source material suggests it helps stop your natural endocannabinoids from breaking down, which in turn could boost their levels and just let your ECS do its job more effectively. And you can see that idea reflected right here in this testimonial from a customer named Barbara. She says it helps her both fall asleep and stay asleep. And notice how she calls it the best natural supplement she's tried. All right, so if CBD is the key ingredient, you might be wondering, what makes this specific product, SomaLeaf, any different? Well, according to the source, it all comes down to the formula and, maybe most importantly, the delivery method. The key piece of tech they highlight is called liposomal delivery. Basically, they wrap the CBD in this tiny, protective, fatty bubble. And since our own cell membranes are also made of fat, this little package gets absorbed super easily, protecting the CBD from your stomach acid and getting more of it where it needs to go. And we're not talking about a small improvement here. The source points to research that suggests this liposomal method can lead to 5 times, that's 5x, as much CBD actually being absorbed by your body. That is a huge difference in potential effect. Now, here's another piece of feedback, and this one is pretty cool because it brings in some modern data. A user named Lynn isn't just saying she feels better, she's actually seen proof in her Fitbit data. Higher sleep scores and a lower sleeping heart rate. Pretty compelling stuff. But it's not just about the delivery system. The formula itself has another key player. The source notes that they add organic turmeric, which has compounds that may also help you get into a deeper, more restful sleep. The source also makes a really important distinction about the type of CBD they're using. SomaLeaf uses broad-spectrum CBD. What that means is you get all the other beneficial stuff from the hemp plant without the THC. Full spectrum, on the other hand, can have trace amounts of THC, which is something a lot of people just prefer to avoid. And just to round things out, here's a quick look at their quality standards. They really emphasize that it's all natural, non-GMO, sugar-free, and vegan. On top of that, it's made in the USA and, this is a big one, it's rigorously third-party tested. They're clearly trying to build trust in what's actually inside the bottle. This last piece of feedback from a customer named Tom really kind of says it all. He ties the product's name directly to the result he got, saying SomaLeaf spells relief. It's just a simple, powerful statement about his experiments. And that really brings us full circle to this final question. After looking at the science, the formula, and the customer experiences, the source leaves us with this thought. Maybe everything we want to accomplish during the day, more energy, better focus, a better mood, maybe it all depends on finally unlocking a better night's sleep.